Yeah, yo, to me, with the Herb Jones extension, the Pelicans seem to be like signaling that they want to be competitive and, a playoff team for at least the next 3 or 4 years. They got Zion's on the contract. Jordan Poole will be on the contract. Depending on how you feel about the DeJounte situation, he'll still be under contract. Herb and Trey, of course. Now, to me, you have to finish it. Now you have to find that distressed asset that you can add to this team to put them over the top. Like, for example, Kristaps Porzingis with the Celtics. If you're the Pelicans, you need to identify this year's Kristaps Porzingis that you can add, on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, to be as competitive as possible within the next couple of years, in my opinion. Right now, I think Nikola Vucevic fits that bill to a degree. I still think you need some help in the front court, shooting, rebounding, etc. Lauri Markkanen, I just don't see a way to maneuver the salaries to go get Lauri Markkanen, especially if you want to avoid being super in the tax, and you'll deplete a lot of of your depth trying to go get Lauri Markkanen. Same thing with Sabonis. I don't see a realistic avenue to go and get Sabonis without totally depleting your depth at this stage. So to me, it's Nikola Vucevic. Maybe you pair him with Ayo or Kobe White for DeJounte in a first. You know what I'm saying? Well, it'd probably be 2 firsts. You probably paying a first to move off of DeJounte and a first to get those 2. Because at this stage, you definitely got to go for it. You got to go for it. Because if Queen and Fears aren't budding stars by the first year that Herb Jones contract kicks in my opinion, then it's a bad contract. It's a bad contract. Because a bad team can't afford to pay a Herb Jones over $20 million at age 29 going into his early 30s. You just can't afford to do that as a bad team. So to neutralize that contract as a negative asset, I think you should lean into being as good as possible. And for me, this is in my opinion, the best version of this team is if A, Zion figures it out, B, Fierce and Boat Queen look like this budding stars, 3, Trey Murphy takes the next step and he's like just a surefire all-star. And, you get a new head coach that can help maximize Herb Jones. I think there's 1 or 2 directions you have to go in with Herb Jones now. I think you have to give Herb Jones more offensive responsibility to kind of justify that contract. You got to give him more offensive responsibility. You got to give him some opportunities to create in that second unit, operate more as a connector. You got to give him the opportunity. He got the talent to do it. He just don't got the coaching to do it. You got to give him the opportunity. Or B, you got to say, look, Herb, now you got to do more. Even as all defenses, that's awesome. You got to do that again, and you got to rebound more, and you got to shoot at least 37% from beyond the arc. You got to do it more. Now I need more from you. You got to go in 1 or 2 directions. If you go get Nikola Vucevic, I think you demanded more from Herb Jones from a defensive standpoint. Like, Herb, you gotta go get me 6-7 rebounds now. Now you gotta do a little bit more. You gotta do more. If you go in from a defensive angle, if you go get like Walker Kessler, like, Herb, I need you to do more on offense. I need you to score a little bit more. I need you to create a little bit more. I'm going to give you the keys here and there. I think you got to demand more with this contract. But no matter how you slice it, you got to be good by the time that extension kicks in. Because that extension becomes a negative asset, in my opinion.